G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors. But of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. Let's first welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm good. There's just too much going on,
Oh,
you think?
You're right.
Do you think that it's just too hard to follow everything in an hour and a half?
Yep. And when you got multiple passions, I've missed the World Surfing Finals, so I've missed quite a bit going on at the moment. But yeah, I'm loving it. Much rather have too much than too little.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's just going to have to be we're just going to have to be more sport orientated moving forward. I'm over it.
Yeah, we need to ramp up our sport involvement, do we?
yeah, I'm over it. I'm over this bloody political stuff.
Oh dear. Let's see if we can find the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice.
Hello, Nick Bice.
Nick crickets. He could be sound asleep on the island of Sardinia, I'm assuming, at the moment. So, Sunday morning as we record. Bicey, it's probably 1 a.m. for him, so he hasn't bothered answering the call, which is to be understood, but we'll treat him with
give him
complete...
a leave pass, but we are going to pick on him.
Yeah.
But we are going to pick on him.
Complete disrespect. All right. Anything you want to report other than that, BP?
No, mate. It's this is a cool one. We stumbled across this a little bit by accident and a little bit last second, and I'm really looking forward to it because
me too.
I know absolutely bugger all about it.
Me too. But it's a good one. It's a good pickup, and it's something we've been discussing doing for a long time. The thing about sailing is at all these major events, there's events hanging off the side of them. And, with my work on the Volvo, I remember I was having a chat to the guy that was running the E-Stuff in South Africa one day, and he was talking about the number of people involved, and it's just insane. It's millions and millions and millions of people. And, I mean, I know you got into the esports a bit, BP, and you're still sailing around the world?
Still sailing, yep. No, yeah. I've been around the world about 17 times now. It's non-stop.
You just forgot to finish.
I don't know. Radix. It's Radix. I'm on just a Radix diet.
Radix diet. We'll have to ask our guests if the Radix helps. But our guest this week is a Bermudan. Has made quite the life in the world of sailing. A fin sailor. I think he came up through lasers from my research. Doing the TP stuff here in Australia at the moment. Drove a photo boat in the Cup when it was in Bermuda. It's heavy involvement in the sport and into the Cup. And then suddenly, whilst Louis Vuitton's going on, millions of other people are doing the bloody E-Series for the America's Cup. And they're nearly to the finals. And our guest today has made it into the finals. So we figure we'll ask him and explain what's going on and whether you could win, BP, if you joined in.
Yeah, late entry.
So I want to welcome to the show with great joy, Rocky Evans, mate. How are you, bud? Welcome to Barkarati.
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure.
It's
good to see you smiley faced and obviously an adopted Australian now, representing Australia in the E-Series, I'm hoping.
No. Gotta represent my little small island.
Yeah.
Stand up.
No, just jokes. Just jokes, mate. No, it's super cool, and I cannot wait to hear about it. As I said on the intro, I know bugger all about it, but I'll pretend to.
Yeah.
Rocky, what I do is I try and do a fair bit of research before we talk to someone just to try and find some interesting stuff. And I found a couple of things about you, bud. One is, I think, as your granddad went to the 76 Olympics?
Yeah, he went to the 76 Olympics in Kingston, Ontario.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I found your wedding photos online, mate. It was at Daydream Island and you had the Bermuda shorts going, the red shorts. Yeah. How cool were you, mate? Hey?
Long socks.
Long socks, that's it. The boat shoes on, the red Bermuda shorts and jacket and tie. It was like you were the style guru, mate. The Americans, you must have copied it from you guys, did they?
Yeah, probably. Sure did. Take it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And obviously, you're also doing TP stuff. I know I saw you doing a bit of tactics on the MC38s, and you're doing, I think, running a boat program. Is it the Matador program? Is that the one you're on?
Yeah, I'm a grinder on Matador when I'm not injured. But yeah normally I'm on Matador grinding.
And the most important thing, BP, a normal-sized human. Let's just say that.
No, I see your notes there, and I can say that he's actually probably above normal-sized human.
I love it, mate.
That's what she said.
Now. Wait for the over 18 session later on.
No, I love seeing group photos when you see the group photos and you got this head standing above everyone else, and I go, there's the sort of people that we should be talking to, you know. So that's you, buddy. First off,
fin sailor. Being a fin sailor, it's important. So
I can see my fin right out the window at the moment. First off, buddy, congratulations on making the final of this E-Series.
Thank you.
We have no idea about it. So can you just sort of give us a brief, if there are people out there that don't know about it, how we can watch it, what's happening?
Yeah, I had no idea about it maybe 7-8 weeks ago.
Right.
And then I started following their social media on Instagram. And basically they were saying they were having a championships and the top 8 people get to go to Barcelona, all expenses paid. And if you make it into the final, you're guaranteed prize money.
Ooh.
So that really attracted me.
Just for the competitive spirit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like 8 weeks ago. I didn't have a gaming laptop, so I invested into a gaming laptop. I already had the wheel and the play seat and stuff, so I was good there. But the series is 8 rounds of qualifying. It's like a weekly qualifying for points. And then the top 8 of each weekly qualifier goes into a weekend final. And the person that wins the weekend final gets a ticket to Barcelona to the grand final. So that's the qualifying side of it.
And you did that because I watched a bit of footage. I found some footage and I watched, and you had the win. I think late jibe into the finish or something, and you got that one more point that you needed for the win, and that was it.
Yeah, kind of. I was fighting from behind, and I had to beat 2 people. I was in 3rd overall going into the last race, and the 2 people I needed to beat were just behind me, and I had to fight to stay in front of them, and I also pass another boat. And so that done the trick to get into the final in the last race.
So it's kind of like fleet racing setup. Is that how it is? And then
Yeah. So it's fleet racing, but the qualifying, like the weekly qualifier, you can have anywhere between a match race, and max boats in a fleet was 8 boats. So anywhere between that, you can spawn into a match. If it's 1 versus 1, you only get 5 points if you win. But if you lose 5 points. Right. And then when it's an 8 boat race, if you win an 8 boat race, you get 20 points. And if you lose an 8 boat race, come last, you get -20. And in between, it's say if you finish 4th, you get 0 points.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And if you finish 5th, you get -5, and so on if you go down.
Wow.
How many people are we talking here? This is a global thing. How many people have been into this?
I don't know the actual numbers of how many people are online playing globally, because the results only show the top 100.
Right.
But I reckon it's got to be well over 1,000 people. It's 3,000 people following the social media, I think.
Right.
So I reckon, maybe over 1,000 people.
But when we were doing the Volvo, the guy was saying that when they do an episode, that they do updates. They were doing video updates, and they had like millions of people tuning in. So I think there's more out there than we realise. But I like that. I'm interested by that scoring system. Like, so if you're in positive points, you're doing pretty well. I kind of like that. Yeah, that was interesting.
And it stops people that have a lot of time on their hands that can just play all around and finish last and get points.
Yeah.
So if you finish last now, you get
like
negative points. So you have to kind of finish in the top half.
It's clever.
Yeah, cool.
I love it. What about the boats? So what are the boats in the sim? Is it the AC40 that you're racing?
Yeah, it's the AC40. Yeah, it's the same sim that the youth teams use to train, and the women's team use to train.
Which we have had our hands on, Jay.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all the controls like what the youth team has. Like they can do mass rotation, Kono, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the game for the public, we can't do all the controls.
Right. And obviously it's a one design set up on that sim. So you're all racing the same boat. It'd be great if you could pick, imagine if you could just pick which AC75 you wanted to race,
I'll go one step further. You got a shore crew.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Kiwi team dropped the USB drive on the way to the game.
Friday night. It's dinner at Rocky's house. Why? Oh, because we've got the bloody cup on. He needs our support.
Yeah. I love it.
You got to have someone bringing you a drink and like all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, so in your
seriously.
sim setup, you said you had the wheels. So like, what do you got? Like, what are you're not sitting there with like, you're not just using arrows on your keyboard. Like you've got a proper gaming laptop, you said, and so you've got an actual steering wheel, like a car wheel, I guess.
Yeah, it's a car wheel. It's like, the wheel's designed for Gran Turismo on PlayStation. Mainly.
Yeah.
So I normally use it on that. And all the other sail controls are on the wheel itself. So I can change sail trim, traveler, sink target, pitch, and cant of both foils and main sheet. Okay. Main sheet controls the main and the jib.
Yep.
So there's a good fair bit of controls just on the wheel to get going fast.
Okay. So
that is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. How, again, here we're talking out of complete ignorance. How responsive is the performance side of it? I mean, is it something you really have to focus on? Obviously, you've got to make sure.
It's like, it's so detailed. Like if I'm 1 degree out of cant downwind, that's like negative. If I'm in the wrong degree, it's like negative a knot or two of boat speed.
Wow.
Sail trim also, like the sail trim is like so fine that you have to be spot on to get your targets around the whole race course. And the traveler is more like keeping the boat balanced from like windward heel, leeward heel. And also like the sink target with the waves. If it's flat water, you can fly a lot higher. Mm-hmm. But if it's wavy and you're flying high, then the boat gets out of control. You start feeling cavitation. The wheel starts to vibrate. You get like force feedback through the wheel. Like all these things you gotta keep in mind and have feel for and know what you're doing. So it's not like Irrigato on the phone or like the Volvo where you can like set best VMG. Like it's pretty full on this game.
It's awesome, isn't it? That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest goes. I want to follow this a bit closer, Jay, and hopefully we have a winner here. But even so, we try and get some footage of this while it's happening, because I think it'd be great for us to pump on our sites.
Well, I'm just intrigued. Like, I mean, the last time I played a video game, I sat down at my local milk bar and put 20 cents in the thing, and Space Invaders came down.
Pac-Man and Frogger.
Yeah, oh no, that was way too advanced. I only got to Space Invaders, mate. That was it. Pong and Space Invaders is my total career. But that being said, have sat in the sim and had a bit of play, and it's addictive. And I just wonder, how are you able to train outside of races? Can you do a bit of time?
Yeah, you can train. You can do like a free course where you can design the race course if you want to practice in light or heavy, or you can create your own lobby and invite your friends.
Oh,
So
yes.
you can do like two-boat training with different settings. I did a
Oh,
lot of that.
I can see this. I can see this getting out of hand, Jay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did a lot of training by myself, like just playing around because I knew nothing about cant. I'm never foiled in my life in real life, so I knew nothing about cant
Yep.
and pitch and sync target and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Which is raises a really interesting question that I was going to say. You said you only started about 8-10 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
Man, to go from there to competing against obviously a bunch of people that's probably done it for a while. I mean, you've done bloody well.
Yeah. It was so many hours.
Oh,
Like
here we go. This is what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
You asked about
Did over-
training, Jay?
I did over 300 hours and over 800 races. I knew how many races I did because after each race, I was taking a picture of the score to see if I actually got the points that I was needed to award, because sometimes the game was not giving you your points.
Ah.
And also I was tracking the other top people, like when they were playing and how much points they were winning based on if they had an 8-boat fleet or 1 versus 1.
Okay, so we've got the social media side of things going. We've got this event up and running. In real life, on water banter is generally a real thing, and we enjoy talking to other competitors. How do you go with this? It's just all keyboard warrior stuff, is it?
No, not necessarily. They have a Discord channel for the game where, like, obviously players can chat, and it is a good bit of banter on there.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Like, especially in the weekend finals, like the first 2 weekend finals that I played in, I did horrible. Well, I finished like mid-fleet, but those people that I normally beat, they beat me. But
Oh,
I think back at it, I was reading the Discord messages in between each race of the final,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like banter, and it was kind of like getting into my head.
uh,
So it is
one
a
of us
good
is
bit of
going
banter.
the wrong way.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky, seen your mum in the nude.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is definitely banter.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm just intrigued by the whole thing. Like one question I've got to know is, if you're in a race and you do lots of maneuvers, can you lose power? Like, is that part of an element of the game where like?
Yeah. No, you can't lose. You mean like the AC
Do
45s,
do
like
your
hydraulic
cycles do
pressure?
your cycles get tired? Is what he's
Well,
saying.
no, in the 40
Nah.
you've got battery power, but you could run yourself down. And I'm wondering if you have to limit maneuvers, but they just let you do as many as you want.
Yeah, you can do as much as you want. Yeah.
And so you were talking about cant and pitch and all that. Are you starting to understand? You put a bit of cant into the boat, you can create a bit of lift off the rig, and your pitch stops you sort of as you go faster. You're in accelerating mode. You pitch it further forward, sort of thing like that. You're starting to work all that out. Is that what it's about?
Yeah, definitely. Like I have a real good feel for the cant and the sync target. The pitch in the game, it don't really play too much because it's a bit boggy. Like the game's got a bog. We think the gamers think. So if you fly high and cavitate the rudder, it goes back to your max pitch target.
Yep.
It's like a safety feature. I think the real boats have it also.
Yep.
Once the rudder starts to cavitate, it sets right back. And in the game, it's like so hard to keep it in a fast mode, so we don't play with pitch that much.
Okay.
What they can't, real good feel for it now.
Yeah.
And also like listening to the America's Cup, the AC75 commentary.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name?
Glenn Ashby.
Glenn, he's been given a lot of good tips. Like one good tip he said was, they can't down more to rotate the boat faster on the jibes.
Yeah.
So I started to do that on the game, and I saw some better, higher numbers inside the jibe, higher speed number.
That's just nuts. I'm loving this. I am. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashby, he could easily be driving one of those boats around the course. There's no doubt about it. He's definitely an underrated. I mean, he's a dead set legend for those who know him.
Yeah.
But and he's been awesome in the commentary box, as you say. He's talking the detail that we want to hear. Which I love, because doing a lot of commentary, the first thing they tell you when you get to commentary, it's sailing commentary. We've got to dumb it down for the audience, and I've refused to do that when I do it, and and Ashby's obviously done the same. He's giving you the inside, and the fact that it's translating into the game, I love that. I love that.
It's even cooler.
Yeah,
I reckon he'd love to hear that too. I reckon that'll be a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm interested.
Yeah, like in between racing, where he's like talking about what maneuvers, like them losing the rudder, like ride height and stuff. I've been listening through all of that.
So I've got this picture of you. I've got this vision of you, Rock, doing your racing while the racing's on, and then turning everything off and putting the TV back on to listen to Glenn Ashby during the races.
We're
going to talk.
Yeah,
pretty sure I'm pretty sure we'll talk about the cup a little bit in a minute. But I'm still crazy about this. I want to know more. What's the next thing now for you? So obviously you say you've qualified. How many people are left? When is the racing? What's the situation?
So the 5th person qualified this morning. It was a guy from Albania, but he lives in New Zealand. And then it's one other qualifying event next week. That would be the 6th person. And then they have 2 wild cards to make 8.
So we still got a chance, Jay.
We do. We're still there. We're in with a shot.
I'm going straight down to JB Hi-Fi and I'm getting myself some kit.
Let's have a clue.
We've got a coach here now. He can coach us in the next week, you see.
It sounds like Rocky's got a coach in Ashby, which I do think you're going to have to when you get to the final. So thank Glenn Ashby for all the coaching I've received. That would be pretty funny.
Nick Bicey has got constant comms with Ashby, so that'll be good. That will definitely filter back to him.
When you get to Barcelona, you're racing at home in your own comfortable setup. Do you take your setup with you, or is everything provided?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like this past week, I've been thinking about that. I think everything will be provided, but like I'm used to playing on a massive TV screen. I have like I think it's a meter long TV, so I don't know. It's a pretty big screen that I play on.
Right.
I think it's like a 60-inch or something. I don't know. It's pretty big. But
home ground advantage, you reckon it could be an issue?
He gets a much bigger view of the course, sees the shifts coming down.
Exactly. Seriously, I can see these shifts a lot better.
Yeah, I love it.
And obviously,
I've got another vision. Now I've got another vision of you going through the airport with your big screen TV and your steering wheel and a chair, and a backpack with a couple of pairs of undies and a t-shirt.
Yeah, but I think the final is going to be on like small monitors.
Yeah,
so I've been trying to I think I might hook my laptop up to my wife's working computer. She's got like a smaller screen
and train.
So I can do some training that way. And also, I'm not too sure once I arrive, when I can practice. So I'm thinking about taking my own wheel and laptop.
Yeah.
So I can get to the hotel room, plug it up, and get some hours in. Maybe on my layover, if I've got a long layover going over, I can just HDMI it to the hotel's TV and then plug the laptop up and the wheel up. So I'm thinking about
if you find an A380, you might be able to USB straight into the back of the TV on the plane. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Have your steering wheel on the tray table. Off you go.
Well, like I'm trying to take control of the airplane.
Imagine that. It's all good. So when is all this taking place? When are you flying?
So I fly on the 25th of this month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think the final's on the 28th, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's actually in the village?
Yeah, somewhere in the village. I'm not too sure, but I'm picturing it in the village with like live audience, maybe.
Wow.
I mean, that is pretty cool. So that comes straight after the Youth America's Cup finishes, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
straight after.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you want to keep them. You want to keep them away from it because they've been training forever on the sim.
But the cool thing is,
Wildcards.
if I finish first and second in Barcelona, I actually get to sail the actual race shot and race against the winning youth team.
No.
Yep,
What?
that was another thing. That was another reason why I put in the hours.
Wow.
We've got it all wrong, Jay.
I know we're doing everything wrong here. You're on fire, Rocky. This is amazing.
Yeah. It was a no-brainer. Like I was.
So you get to go on one of the 40s.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
If I
And
finish
race.
first or second. Yeah. If I finish
race.
first or second.
Wow. Well, we know. Why don't you just beat everyone up, mate? You're a normal sized bloke. You're up against a whole bunch of computer nerds. Just knock everyone else out.
I get the Finn Mafia.
You Finn Mafia.
Walk around and bop them on the head. Walk around and bop them on the head. Yeah.
Half the America's Cup teams would be your mates, I reckon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Josh Jr., Andy, Mahoney, all those boys.
Yeah, they're good guys.
Hey, are they aware of what's happened? Are they? I mean, they're busy at the moment, but
a few of them I've messaged. I've messaged Tom Slingsby. He's like excited for me to come because he was my neighbor here in Rose Bay, and also he was my training partner for a bit in the Fin when he was in the Fin for a bit.
Yeah.
So we're really good mates. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Massive with you guys.
Super cool. That is super cool.
Oh well, actually, there you go. Well, while you got someone good mates, probably can't. He probably wouldn't admit to it, but do you talk tactics with any of the boys? Because you got a couple of teams covered off there.
Yeah, I've asked a good bit of people that I know in the cup and in the youth AC teams for like tips and tricks. I'm not going to name any names, but I've asked a good bit of people.
Yeah.
The Australian sim is literally next door to me at home, like one block over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's at Wallara, isn't it? Is it at Wallara?
No, it's at it's in the city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Next to my house, the actual sim.
Yeah.
Where the team trains with the winning group.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
that's right.
It's where you go.
That's where I went. I went to there. That's the one I went to. But there is another one floating around somewhere. But
yeah. There was one at Royal Prince Alfred's.
Yeah,
that's right.
What about the rules? You're racing in the cup rules, I'm assuming?
Yes and no. The game is a bit different, I think, with rules. But for the most part, yeah, it's the same rules. Yeah.
And the courses, everything else is identical to what we're seeing on the cup. So you're racing in a stadium racing. So it's Windward Lords.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Windward Lords boundaries. It has like a buffer area for the boundary. So if you hit the left hand boundary and tack, and if you don't pull it in the zone, you have right away against the stop attacker kind of thing.
Yep.
The mark roundings. If you're first in the zone, doesn't matter if you're pulled or starboard, you earn the mark if you enter first in the zone. It's been funny because some of the players don't understand that rule because they still think leeward has right away.
Yep.
But if you're windward above a leeward boat and you enter the zone first, you have right away.
Yep.
And
you can close the
leeward
door.
person's like, oh, I was leeward boat kind of thing. And there's like, nah, there's different rules in the game than like normal fleet racing.
Yeah, you got to read the rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. So in the finals, what's the format? It's not match racing suddenly? You've got 8 boats just racing a whole series of fleet races, is that right?
Yeah, there's a whole series of fleet races. I'm not too sure how many.
Yeah.
How many races? Because the weekend finals where I qualified was only 5 races. But it would be good to do more. Like,
you'd think. I was going to say, you'd think with the way they're sort of formatting this and it being at the cup, it's quite a spectacle. And I think well, definitely we're going to be. You've sold us, so we're going to ask the next question: is how do we follow it? How do our listeners follow it, and how do they follow you?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So to follow the game, I guess you can follow the Instagram page. It's called ACE Sailing. It's pretty good. They give out like tips how to play the game, who's qualified, like how to sign up. If you want to sign up, like you have to download a couple of apps. It's all free, the game and the apps that you need. But yeah, following me is just my own personal Instagram page, Raquel Evans.
Yeah.
I don't have like a separate sailing page or anything like that.
It's one of those things, like it's so cool that it would be really, really good to see all this happen and unfold for those who aren't in Barcelona, because there's going to be a bunch of people walking around seeing these chairs and TVs going, what's going on here? If it's live, you're going to have a bunch of spectators. It's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is leading to see it sort of them to me thinking there was going to be, it's going to be quite a spectacle, and they'll have quite a few races.
Yeah. Also, you could watch each weekend's final live on YouTube and Twitch.
That's what I was going to ask. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw Jess Duke on there hosting. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's been hosting each one.
Yeah.
And is that what channel is that? Has that got a title? Is it same again?
Just
ACE Sailing.
No, it's just on the America's Cup YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah, and they pop the replays on. Also, you can check them out.
Right, there you go, guys, ladies and gentlemen, listeners out there, get onto it.
I'm interested, Rocky, with the tactics you're using. I mean, you're sort of doing fleet racing, so it's different. But I wonder if there are elements in the tactics where you're seeing stuff happen on the screen, or you're doing it in the game and then it comes up on screen. They start doing it in the real racing sort of thing. The one that really highlights for me with the Real Cup, particularly when we went down range in wind strength, was the wind shadow effect, and setting your start up and giving everyone dirty air. That's why everyone was leading back. What is the scenario like? So the question is, are there tactics that you are really working? And do you see them in the Cup? And then what about wind shadow? How does that play out in the game?
Yeah, definitely it's massive wind shadows, and the wind gets all chopped up. If it's like an 8 or 9 knot race, if the wind's 8 or 9 knots, you do not want to be doing a lot of maneuvers behind people in the box in the starting zone, because you can fall off the foils so easy. It's just like in real life.
Yep.
You want to be doing longer straight lines before you pre-start and hitting max speed 10 seconds out.
Yep.
And then crossing the line. The first week that I did the weekend's qualifier, it was a 8 or 9 knot race, and literally I could not get on the foils because I was behind everyone. I couldn't. It took half a leg for me to get up on the foils because I was just gassed the whole racetrack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And because one of the things we see is in those light winds you jibe around, and that jibe puts you straight into your own dirty air, and and if you've got another boat there, but with a fleet, it's massive, obviously.
Yeah, it's massive. And the crazy thing is, when you're qualifying during the week, you don't get many 8-boat races in light air, or 8-boat races in general. So and even if you major in lobby, you really will get 8 people that want to join and train. And then once you get into the weekend's qualifier, you get into this 8-boat high tense with no wind. It's really, really hard to keep it on the foils.
So just on the time zones, because it's around and only one boat qualifying on the weekend. Is it just one specific time the race is on, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's one Pacific time each weekend, and for me, it was at 5 a.m. So I had to get up at 4, do some training, and then had a short briefing at 4:30 in the morning, and then racing started at 5 a.m. here in Sydney.
Okay, next question. What does the missus think of this?
The first maybe 3 weeks, she was like, okay, yeah, go do it. You can actually win some prize money, and you can sail at AC 40, go and do it. And then I failed miserably the first 2 weekend qualifiers to get to the final. I was mid-fleet. And then the last week...
Stepped up your training.
I stepped up the training, and then the last week she was like, no, are you really going to do it? You're taking so much time away from family time. Is it all worth it kind of thing? And then when I did qualify, she was super happy, totally on board, kind of thing. Yeah.
Does she get it? Does she get a ticket?
No, she doesn't. Just me. If I was under 16, yes, or 18, yes.
Oh well.
Oh yeah.
It's
But also,
yep.
also with the time zone thing, like during the week to get the points was very hard because it wasn't many players that played daytime Sydney time.
Mm.
So I was getting up early in the morning, like 4 in the morning, to play with the Europeans.
Yep.
Like 4 to 8, it was like a lot of people, 50 people online playing. And then also in the evenings from like 8 to midnight, I was playing because there was a lot of Europeans, and I got those 8-boat fleets to get 20 points each race, which was like so good to get.
I was because I was wondering about that, BP. I was just sitting here thinking, you know, like I wonder which time zone is the hot time zone, and it sounds like the European time zone was the hot one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, I had no clue.
Kind of suits Bicey and I. You might struggle.
Yeah, I'll struggle. Don't you worry. There's one thing I'll guarantee: I'm not going to be good at this stuff. Yeah. So then, obviously, when you did come out with a win, one, I guess your wife would be happy. But then, in terms of how you feel psychologically now, like is it everything is just training now in the lead up? You're just thinking and trying different things and experimenting, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of training. I mean, less hours definitely, but more intense hours, like training wise. But yeah, and also trying some different stuff, but I don't want to do too much stuff too. It's like really, really new to me. Like I've been trying different speeds with the camera that follows the boat in the game.
Yep.
You can get the camera to follow directly behind the boat during the maneuvers, which has been really good. I wish I would have did that like 3 weeks ago. And also I've tried the PlayStation VR2 headset.
Yep.
Because when you're playing with the wheel, just looking at a screen, if you want to look left or right, you have to press the keys on the keyboard.
Yep.
So your hand goes off the wheel, you kind of lose a bit of windward heel. So I've been trying the PlayStation headset. So when you have the headset on, you can actually look right and look left and hit hands left to see if you can tack and cross somebody.
Wow.
But yeah, I've been doing some studying.
Have you? Are they those ones like I've only seen them in the real world like once, I reckon, where some dude was wearing the virtual headsets, but on the train or something, and they were touching the sky in front of him. Like, have you seen that? Is it like that?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, it's that type of headset, but it's for games and laptops.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the same kind of thing. It's like virtual reality.
Wow.
It's just insane, isn't it, Jay?
It is. It's. I mean, it's a world I don't have any skills at. That's for sure. It is quite incredible.
But I'm very doubtful that they'll allow it at the finals, the headset, because they want to see people's facial expressions on the live and stuff, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know, and also it doesn't really work too good. You can't see the wind shifts inside the headset.
Yeah.
The screen isn't clear enough to see, the wind shifts or the pressure.
What about when you do get to the final? You're all going to be sat there next to each other, I assume. You're not going to be in separate rooms. You're going to have a crowd around. There's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of, like you can
banter.
Banter. Yeah. It could almost become like a Twiddlers race, where you can actually get grumpy with each other and you can actually see each other. Like, are you worried about climbing out of the sim and
walk down to console number 1 and give him a biff?
Yeah, give the player next to your elbow so you can pull that crossing.
Yeah. Well, what about like once all that atmosphere and stuff changes? Like, obviously having a young kid annoying you while you're sailing is really good development. Is that you see that as a positive?
Yeah, probably. Like you can get that like third eye working and have some distraction, but also training to stay focused.
Yeah. What about your mates? Like, obviously, you know, you're involved in the sailing scene in Sydney by the sounds of it, particularly with the TPs and stuff. So, you know, one of the good things about that Sydney scene is there's plenty of people with an opinion. So, you know, are your mates happy to give you some sort of input? Are they even aware that you're doing it?
Yeah, some of my mates have been giving me some input, and also some of my mates I've been actually giving some help.
Yeah.
Because they're getting into the game also. What's his name? Gray, the silver medalist in the windsurfing.
Yeah.
I had him over my house, showing him some tips and stuff. He was interested in getting into the game. Another coach guy here from Spain. He coaches at Willara.
Yeah.
And stuff. I've helped him a bit. He's also helped me a bit also. But yeah, a lot of positive feedback from people.
Takes a village, eh? It's interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's almost like you've. I can tell by your personality, you're very detailed. Like you're going to go through and find everything and do the research, and you know, like that. Clearly, that's coming across. So you know, like if you're running a boat campaign, well, you're going through all the lists all the time and making sure everything's perfect. You know, that's and you're thinking ahead, trying to analyse. Right, that's coming across. Yeah. But then you know, you're right. You know, you're right next to a simulator. You've got the youth team and the women's team nearby training. You've got all your mates who are in the cup. You know, like it's almost like a perfect little sort of melting pot. You know, where that's produced you, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It's all coming together from different avenues. You know, it's just all gelling together.
Yeah, and
it helps knowing a lot of people.
Do you think that a lot of competitors don't have, and I put professional in apostrophes, have a professional background in sailing? Do you think there's not as many people like yourself who are, you know, generally have devoted their life to sailing on a practical sense?
Yeah. It's some of the guys that qualified ahead of me. I mean, it's a kid from New Zealand that's 14. The biggest boat he sailed, I think, was a laser. And
right.
Yeah. And then there's another guy from Hungary. I'm not too sure about his sailing background, but he mentioned that it's not a lot. And then the other guy is from France. He's a 49er campaigner at the moment. So he's really good.
So a bit of a spread, yeah.
Just be warned.
His the French guy's replays during the races, you can save the replays.
Mm-hmm. So
I've saved a ton of his replays and studied them. Normally, the people that beat me, I've been saving their replays and studying them also.
Okay, I've got a couple of things for you. One, we rate quite well in Hungary. We've got quite an audience in Hungary. Just be aware that he's probably listening, just so you know.
Yeah.
Same in Kiwi land as well.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing on games in the motor racing world where people that are good do a race and then explain, you know, all the things they're doing and on YouTube, and they get big channels of followers and they make good money from it. Maybe it's an income stream for you down the path.
Yeah, I mean, it's crossed my mind. I play Gran Turismo and I follow a lot of maybe 3 YouTubers that do tips on setup and how to drive the car. So I think it is an avenue, maybe if it's a huge fan base of this game, to go down that route of obviously coaching people through YouTube videos. You know,
I've got an idea.
I don't know if the fan base is going to be that big.
I can hear Jay's brain going.
I've just had an idea, Rocky. A game for the game developers out there, right? Gran Turismo, you start the race in your cars, right? You do your race, and then you come screeching into the pits, into your boat, and then continue the race straight on from there. So you've got to
you got to start at home, get your gear ready, get your gear packed into your car, not forget anything, drive down the highway, the fastest bloke to the boat, and then get on the boat and do a race. That's cool.
I think it's, you know, you could actually do
insane
combinations. Yeah.
Oh, Jay.
It's saleable, but there is that whole revenue opportunity, you know, like if you could go down that path. All right, so That's it, mate. Like you're off. We're happy. We got you e-sailing. What about real sailing? What's next on you? You got a bad back at the moment?
Yeah. So actually, the back injury and the game came at the right time for me to actually play a lot of the game.
Yeah.
I missed Hamilton Island Race Week on Matador this year and last year because of my back injury. Not been doing much sailing this past 3 or 4 months because of the back. So I had so much time on my hands to actually do the hours in the game. But I think once I'm back from the final from Barcelona, I might slowly start hopping back into the fin and back on the TP.
Yep. Sounds like a perfect life, doesn't it? Like just get flown to Spain, then go fin sailing, and then do a bit of TP sailing. It's like it's everyone's dream.
Yeah.
Can we? Before we lose you, mate, can we talk about the Real Cup, BP? Should we talk about...
I was just about to say, we're getting to the end of the conversation, but we have had, we did a people's panel last week where we had some really interesting points come up, and why don't we take this opportunity to spend 5 minutes with you to discuss the Real Cup, what your thoughts are, and where you're sitting on that, because it's starting to develop now. One more day today. What do you think?
I think the Kiwis look very, very strong. I mean, I've only seen them do one mistake pre-start. I think they were racing against, I forget who it was. They had the Traveller really high up and they couldn't point to it, get the true wind angle good, and they lost the start.
Luna Rossa, wasn't it? And Luna Rossa came across the bow.
Yes, that was the only mistake.
Doing a very rare sort of start that we've discussed is now a commonplace thing, and cranking off and getting across in front of them and then coming up fast.
Yeah.
And they slipped down and had an early tack.
Yeah, and I was watching who was on your show a few weeks ago, Mozzie Sales, his scoop on it all, and he was like, it might be a loophole in New Zealand's Traveller main sheet setup that they couldn't get the main one fast enough, so they had to go max Traveller up to try and get the leech tension or whatever.
Yep.
But that's the only thing I saw. But
and of the
Luna Rossa.
Yeah. Okay. So I was about to say, and of the challengers, who's standing out for you?
I think Luna Rossa. They look very strong.
I think we're sort of all agreeing there that they are definitely a smooth package at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, the USA has the good moments. Well, but it seems like out of tax, it seems like to me that it takes them longer to get back up to target boat speed.
It was specifically noticeable yesterday. I don't know if you watched last night's, where they did a lee bow. They did a lee bow, and I watched them, and it was a nice position lee bow. It looked good. And I think it was against Luna Rossa actually. Yeah. And Luna Rossa then switched into high mode and just went bang and killed it. That was it.
And in my mind, I'm like, why didn't they just cross on starboard?
I said the same thing. I said,
just cross.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you really have nailed a couple of really critical things there. Exactly that. So there's two things that I think American Magic have. They are slow to accelerate. It's really clear that they are slow to accelerate. They have to do a little bit more speed build. The other thing is, remember a couple of days ago where they burnt their cyclors out and they lost, so they lost power because the cyclors were out. So American Magic, if they're going to win, just needs to rely on their speed. They need to get good, clean starts and then just sail away is what I think they're going to have to do.
Because we know that they're fast. We know that they're, straight line, they're good.
They have the best looking boat to me. Yeah. Like, it's so, aero streamlined. It's, so good looking.
Yeah. But if you're racing against American Magic, then you just got to get them into. You got to just start throwing shit at them, and if they respond, and let's be honest, they're competitive on that boat. They want to beat, so they'll definitely go at you. Italy have been so cool the whole time, unbeatable, and then the Poms just did such a good job against them
yesterday. I watched and I was just looking, and there was obviously that one little incident where they did a touchdown, but the way they sailed was super impressive. And like I said, we're starting to see a little bit of form from all of them and different points are starting to show up of strengths and weaknesses.
Well, I think the Poms are closer to American Magic in terms of the way they've got to sail their boat than they are to Luna Rossa. And
I'd say so. That's a good point.
And they sailed off nice. I think from memory, I think they started at the pin. I think, the UK led back to the start, and they were slightly faster at the start line, and the Italians had to tack off, I think, and then it was a speed thing, and they just sailed their race. That's basically what they did. They clearly wanted that right hand side, which was obviously paying. There's got to be a geographic element to that, in how much it's paying to get that right. So, it was really interesting.
They sailed away from Red Bull, the GBR, in that race.
Yeah.
They were like faster downwind by like 2 knots, I think, or 3 knots, and then upwind they were a lot faster.
Yeah.
So that looked really good. Them being that much faster than another boat. So I don't know if they did some upgrades or something.
One other thing I think I mentioned it last week, is that we're going to see, once we get a bit of wind, we're going to see them lose rudders and have these touchdowns, and that's exactly what we've seen. So it's how well and smooth you're sailing the boat is coming into play, and you can see that the top 3 teams on the Challenger side and the Kiwis, they're probably sailing their boats just that little bit better than Alinghi and Orient Express. I think you see the Orient Express touchdown a little more, and Alinghi's probably just slightly better. But it's
sort of thinking now that Orient Express is time on the water, and Alinghi is showing that potentially there's some design factors that are coming into play.
Yeah.
But the other thing that really stood out to me, boys, and I'm interested what you think, is we also said this early on, is that we reckon the racing it'll end up being a lot more close. Like the boats are hanging in on each other. Once you're in front, it looked like at the start of the regatta, if you got in front, you were just sailing away. But that's not happening anymore. There are passes happening, and everyone's pretty close. It's a way better cup than last cup, in terms of the Challenger Series, the Louis Vuitton, whatever it was called last time. And now it's close. It's close, and we go into a whole different ballpark now. But I just think we're seeing much better racing.
More closer.
Yep.
All it takes for the leader to do one little small mistake, and the guy from behind gains 100 meters.
Yeah, clearly evident with the Ineos v USA on the last tack. I got to admit, I was pretty happy. I mean, I've got a soft spot for the USA, obviously, because of links with design. But the last tack, last 200 meters of the race, and Ainsley was pretty. If he could have sworn, he would have.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I've written down a couple of observations I've made. Actually, on that UK boat, one observation I wrote down is UK are fast when they sail their own race. I like how they just backed themselves at the top of leg 1 against Italy. They didn't bother trying to tackle them. They just said, yep, in one and in, and they made that gain. I think the commentators mentioned that the US have worked out how to get a little bit more power through their cycles, because they had that issue a couple of days ago where they lost systems because they'd burnt out their cycles. I noticed one of the Italian cyclists was punching out 900 watts at one stage, which is insane. I mean, if it's only for a little sprint, everyone can do it, but to hit and hold 900, that's something insane. The other thing,
I did a lot of cycling in my Fin campaign, so I know all about wattage and stuff.
Yep.
Power to weight ratio. Those guys are like machines.
So
machines.
For those who do a lot of running and hit heart rates, if you're a good runner and you're doing a race, you can build your heart rate up to 190, 180, 190 sort of thing. You can get there in a sprint, like if you're really in a pack and you're racing for the finish or something, you can get that 190 pretty comfortably. Getting 190 on a bike is a whole different world. Like a high heart rate on a bike, your heart rate gets 150, 160. To get to 190 on a bike, you are just in a world of hurt. And we're seeing it. You are so much pain. My wife is a former professional triathlete, just rolling her head around at the moment, just she wants to input here. I can see her in the background.
Yeah. I think some of these cyclists I saw on GCN's YouTube channel, Global Cycling Network, they did an episode about the cup cyclists.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting like their 20-minute FTP test is like almost 500 watts.
Wow.
So well over 450.
Yeah. God, you can hear it though, can't you? You can hear them, and
you can hear them. Yeah.
And they've got like a coxswain. They run this sort of coxswain style. So the lead cyclist going, okay, you can recover a bit here, boys. You can hear it going on, and we've got to dig, and then like Slingers is not. He doesn't mind throwing them onto the fire. He doesn't mind throwing
big push,
boys. I
think that was one of Glenn Ashby's comments that I picked up on. It was quite funny as they come around one of the marks, bottom or top, I can't remember, and I don't remember the actual team. Let's say it was the Kiwis. He goes and the Kiwis cocks are pushing it now.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another observation I picked up is that now I know how fast a seagull flies, because there was some footage where these boats were motoring along and there's a seagull flying right next to one, and that was holding about 40 knots. So I've worked out how fast a seagull flies now.
There you go. So you haven't read Jonathan Livingston's Seagull yet, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favourites. I love that book.
Righto.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we've discussed the Yi thing. We'll talk about that. Finish off that in a second. But Cup, who's going to win? The overall
defender.
So we've gone Kiwis. Yeah, there's this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, even more important question: who's going to make the final? Like, not the final, but the final of the Louis Vuitton. So we're likely going to see. I'd be certain Italy makes the Louis Vuitton final currently without changes.
Mm-hmm.
But, American Magic and Ineos, it's going to be a hell of a battle between them. And we're into the semi-final stages now. So the way I think the semi-final, we've got a few days off. Racing starts again on the 14th. The semi-final, so there's 2 flights, so you sail against the same boat. That's it. You're in semi-finals. It's no round robin anymore. So,
oh wow,
yep. So you're basically the top place boat, which is Luna Rossa, the Italians, gets to pick whichever boat they want to race against. So they're choosing the boat, and the first to 5 race wins that semi-final, and then the other 2 boats race. And so there's no more swapping boats. So the next time we see boats racing, they're racing those same boats over and over again.
On form, you're going to be thinking Luna Rossa will choose American Magic, wouldn't you?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, who do you choose?
Ineos gave him a bit of a hard time yesterday. Luna Rossa, that is.
Yeah.
So, and Italy have had the wool over American Magic both on their times.
Wouldn't you pick a Lingy as your?
I suppose. Well,
I'd pick a Lingy.
You'd probably be picking a Lingy, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Be a tough pick though.
So we're going to see that battle between. This is my guess. I would guess Italy are going to go a Lingy, and then we're going to see American Magic
and Ineos go head to
head for the next week or so.
That'll be a good
for the script writers. You've just written a good script for the movie.
Yeah. So it gets real interesting, and the intensity, because let's be honest, the intensity, like we all know Ainsley's intense. Like Ben, he's very mellow on the shore. He's a really nice bloke on the shore, but on the race course, he's intense. Tommy, again, super mellow, lovely guy. I love hanging out with Tommy. He's just the nicest bloke, but on the race course, he is intense. Like he's got the red mist for sure.
Yeah.
And They're so good at masking it on the TV though. I don't know how they're doing it. I reckon with their race coverage, they actually have taken the audio out and they've filmed just mellow footage of all the skippers and stuff, and it's going on behind the scenes, but we're not.
A little bit of intermission music in the background.
Yeah, they have good split personalities, I think.
Yeah, well, and Jimmy will be the same. Like if you had Luna Rossa versus American Magic, say in the final, I mean, there's two gingers going head to head there. There's going to be a lot of red floating around.
The mist.
Yeah,
fisticuffs being thrown left, right, and centre.
Gingers, mate. So we go into that semi-final and it gets real interesting, and we've got a few days off, and I'm intrigued how it's going to play out. But if you're coaching these teams, if I was coaching American Magic, I'd be just saying, just back your speed, and just get nice clean starts, execute perfectly, and clear out. And the problem is it's going to be the exact same argument for Ineos. They're going to have the same coaching. Italy, they'd be cracking out the red wine and the pasta. We're good, we're shit hot. Let's just go and have a good time for 4 days.
Looks like they can do whatever they want on a race course. High mood, low mood, jives, tacks.
That boat is unreal, isn't it? It's very cool. Just a quick question before I think we sign off on it. Did you watch any of the Finns as well, Rocky?
The Girl Cup. They've just finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a good bit of the daily highlights on YouTube.
Yeah.
The kid that won, well, not a kid anymore. Like, he's probably 5'8". He's pretty short for a Finn sailor,
right?
But really strong. He was also doing a Finn campaign when I was campaigning. But, like, he was really good in the windy conditions also. Like, his setup with his mass and sail package, like, he was pretty good in the windy conditions. And it showed this Girl Cup because he beat this, the Hungarian guy that finished second.
Mm-hmm.
He's, like, super ripped, perfect weight. It looks like he's probably, like, 98 kilos and, like, really strong and really tall.
Mm.
So the Finnish guy, the young guy who won, like, he did really good to beat someone that's massive.
It was a total domination. We'll come back to it after, but that was a nice summary. We'll come back to that later on in the breakdown. But that was a really nice summary. But I do have to ask the question, being a Bermudan, does a Finn sailor have an advantage sailing the Finn? Is it because he's from Finland, does a Finn have an advantage sailing a Finn? I'm just interested.
Maybe he's got like good juju or something.
Yeah, good juju. That's
No, what was your call while you were commentating? A Finn sailor from Finland coming to the finish?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Finn sailing a Finn to the finish.
Jordan's famous for that comment, Rock.
Yeah. No, but yeah, he did really good. I was so surprised after the windy day. He won every single race, and he came from behind. Like I remember he had really good technique, Dalman, and being small and lighter, but strong. Like, I'm pretty sure he was so much faster, Dalman. Like so much, like a huge speed difference when you're lighter with good technique and strong.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, we'll talk about it some more in a sec. But, mate, Rocky, it's been a ton of fun. We're really excited for what's happening for you here, mate.
Absolutely.
I do have to say, listening to, you're watching the Finns, you're doing all this sailing, all this stuff, you're watching the Cup. Obviously, your wife and your kid aren't seeing you. Hopefully, you'll remember them after this. But best of luck in Barcelona on the trip over, and
thank you.
I think there's a fair chance BP and Bicey will be floating around. So if you need some coaching, you've got that.
don't come to me.
Yeah.
I'm still sailing around the world on my class 40.
I forgot to tell you guys my story about Bicey.
What?
Growing up in Bermuda.
What? Oh no!
Oh, quickly, yep. Let's go. We've got 5 minutes. Let's go.
So Bicey was, I think, the boat captain of Virgin Money, now Law Connect.
Oh yeah.
It was in Bermuda. Yeah. It was in Bermuda in 2008 when it broke down during the transatlantic record. And I was working on a barge at the time, scrubbing bottoms. So here it was, this 100-footer coming into Bermuda to do repairs. And I was scrubbing the bottom every other day by myself, using 2 tanks of oxygen, maybe 4 hours to do it.
Wow.
And every day I was asking the guys, the boat people on Virgin Money, oh, can I do the delivery to, I think they were going to Florida. And sure enough, Bicey was like, yeah, come do the delivery with us. I was 20 years old, first time ever being on a boat bigger than an Etchel.
Yep.
And I think it was my second time doing an ocean crossing or dark crossing.
Yeah.
But literally that trip made me be like, okay, I want to be sailor as a profession. Like I want to be in this scene for sure. And it was all because of Bicey inviting me onto the boat to do the delivery. And then we got to
he just wanted one more person so he could do less. That's it. That's
that's Bicey to a T. I'm devastated he wasn't here for the interview for you, mate. We should ring him and wake him up. But
he knew he knew, but he just knew he was out of range. So he knew there was a story coming up. Well, there you go. That's good. That's a great, good news story for Bice. Well done, Mr. Bice.
And then when we got to Florida, like the dinner, like we drank the hotel out of Heineken, went to another bar, drank that bar out of Heineken. I was like, this is what I want to be into.
Yeah, you don't go for a drink with Nick Bice unless you're trained.
The funny thing is, like the next day after the dinner and the party, I never saw him and I never got his contact.
I
kind of forgot his name, but 2 years ago at Hamilton Island Race Week, I was on Matador and Secret Men's Business was parked next to us. And it was this voice that rang a bell. And I'm like, I know this voice. I know this voice from somewhere. So then I started asking the boys on Matador, do you know this guy? Like, oh, yeah, that's Bicey. And I'm like, did he sail on Speedboat or Virgin Money back in the day? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, my God, this is the guy that influenced me to become, like, take sailing seriously kind of thing.
Wow.
And sure enough, he remembered me. Then I had some photos on my Facebook of us sailing the boat together. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I'm like, thank you, man. Like, I'm only here because you influenced me kind of thing.
Wow.
There you go.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And
Full circle.
well, good on you, man. Like, just part forward because he is such a good guy. He helps out heaps of people. And,
definitely.
Yeah, and it's so talented. And we're happy for you, man. Like, we're really happy to see you getting this chance. And best of luck, hey? Best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Go get him.
Yeah, will do.
Oh, Rock. Yeah, the Rock. Taking it seriously. Holy God.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It was amazing.
Well, to the listeners out there, this all happened very quickly. I don't know if, no one really realises how hard it is to organise someone every week to talk. And Jay and I were struggling to find someone. And out of the blue, old Rock comes on and tells me, have you heard anything about this? And we've jumped on it. And we have been sort of talking about the E-Series, various different events, but this has blown my mind. I am so stoked. I can't wait to see how this pans out, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I'm jealous, I'll be honest. Having never put my head in there, to think you could just sit at home and go sailing all day, you know, like when he was talking about the sim, it sounded pretty cool, like all the things that you could do. And, you know, you sent a little video to me, which I'll put up on the probably put that on the Instagram site.
Are we going to see one Jay Spencer entering the next cup?
No,
why not?
I'd stone motherless, mate. Stone.
Why
motherless.
isn't it?
Because, you know, I wouldn't know I don't know how to operate a computer. No, never played video games, so I wouldn't. Like, he mentioned something about having a gaming laptop.
Yeah, it's just a laptop with lights.
So, you know,
it's got a few other different controls. It's specifically designed for games.
Yeah, look, none of that technology has ever existed for me. Like, I don't do video games. Never looked at a video game. Never thought about a video game.
Well, it's not video game. It's sailing.
Yeah. It's a sim.
You've got to have a different approach. You've got to open your mind up. Never stop learning, Jay.
No, I agree. No, it sounds really cool. Like, and it sounds like a genuine sim of some sort. And to me, that the fact that you could do that, and he's clearly developed understanding of foiling. He was talking about all the different elements, and he's able to employ rules. He was having debates about rules. He was talking about strategy and how he's listening to all the commentary for actually picking up things, and the fact that it actually what Ashby's saying on the screen, and then that translates to an improvement in his performance.
I think we've got to, if we do nothing out of this. We've got to get Bicey to go to Ashby and say, hey.
Oh, we're going to do an episode
Keep
with
doing
Ashby.
what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, Ashby, because these e-sailors are listening to what you're saying.
The super coach.
And without you realising it, you're coaching him.
Yeah. We'll get Glenn on the show. He said yes.
Hey, just really quickly, before we get into anything else, we didn't mention the reverse curse.
Oh, yeah. No, but everyone knows. Yeah, it's in his back pocket now. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
Do you reckon he rang us up because of that?
Maybe. We do get a lot of communication. You know what he needs to add to his repertoire, though, BP?
What's that?
One thing he hasn't thought about is nutrition.
I was going to bring this up because sitting around in a chair all day can't be that good for it.
No. Well, your diet of chips and soft drink is it's not going to work.
Could go chicken wings and hamburgers, and how are you going to and you're going to get all that oil and jizz all over your controllers?
Yeah, that's a good point. Never thought of that. So obviously, the way he's
the answer.
Rocky's going to take it down with a bit of Radix nutrition, because if his mission is to crush his fitness goals or just conquer new challenges or simply fuel everyday life, he's covered. So nutrition for everybody. So if you want to try out some Radix nutrition and peak for the E series and get one of those last couple of spots, or there's one more spot to go, and then the two wild cards, jump onto Radix Nutrition, use the discount code word bar karate and get a discount on us.
That was a nice one.
What's that?
That ad was just a absolute cracker.
Yeah, we do special reads.
But hey, listen, it makes sense though, doesn't it? Because I'm not a computer game buff, but I do see this the world of E-series it doesn't matter what it is, computer games. There are a lot of hours sitting in front of a computer. What do they eat?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's simple for them. They can practice more. So yeah, good on them. Cool.
Love it. Yep.
Events coming up. There's a couple of big ones that kick off this week. One reason why we can't hear the voice of Mr. Bice, it's the Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup, which is basically the world champs for the Maxi boats, all the big boats and super yachts and stuff. So that's in Porto in Sardinia. I assume that's where Mr. Nicholas Bice is sitting right now. Seeing he did actually send me a message at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm in the restaurant where we came up with the whole concept of bar karate. And so, so that's on. Good luck to everyone competing in that. Obviously, Sardinia is a gorgeous place to go and hang out. You don't even have to race. You can just go and cruise around there and enjoy it.
Porto.
Very nice.
Lovely place.
Just don't don't go there looking for red meat, because you're probably going to eat horse.
Nothing wrong with the odd horse or two.
Yeah. J70 Worlds in Palma, 13 to 22 September.
Oh, we were saying this off. Isn't it always the J70 Worlds?
I know. Like, it's
every week. It seems to be the J70 Worlds.
Yeah. What's going on? It's like, how many J boats there are out there now. There's just J70 Worlds every second week. Yeah. No. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, but
weren't we joking about it the other day about J70 Worlds in St. Petersburg?
Yeah, I think we were. Yeah. If someone can explain that, maybe there's a time.
Is it a phenomenon?
A split in the time.
Is it a phenomenon?
Space continuum. Yeah.
Is it a phenomenon?
Yeah. All right. Cool. We'll move on. So good luck to everyone competing in that. That is well contested. Oh, you're so freaking right. They're literally. I'm sure there was only a couple of months ago we did the Jason. But anyway, they're on in Palma, 13 to 22 September. Good on them.
I say.
Yeah, keep doing. Jack Lloyd, Listener of the Week. We're running out of time with Vycobi. This is the last one coming up. In fact, we're announcing the Listener of the Month, and this is the final one. In theory, young Pat rang me yesterday. So he said, J-Dog, if I want to hear next month, so he specifically suggested what he wants to hear from the listeners next month. If you owned a cup team and you were running a cup team and you won the cup, what would you do for the next cup? What boats? How would it look? How would it all be? So he's asked specifically of our listeners.
So we've actually put a little bit of a prompt in here.
Yeah.
So listeners have to come back and say what you would do for the next cup.
Yeah. And that, I have no idea what the prize is. We haven't agreed the prize, but the prize continues. It'll be something substantial. It's been between 200 and 300 Aussie worth of prize each month. So it's worth your time, and it's probably a good, fun exercise. But so, Vicobi,
tell us what you would do if you won the cup as the defender.
That's it. Yeah, how you'd structure the cup to look, what you'd like, what sort of boats.
What would you do, Jay?
Where will you do it?
Let's give them a bit of an idea. What would you do?
Oh, how good! I get all the challenges of my mates, and I'd do it just out here, just in the bay at Malula Bar.
Of course you would.
All right, and it'd be like an adventure as well as sailing. You'd have to complete some other adventure activities.
At the end of the day, you'd have to tell stories.
Yeah, and a story. Yeah, actually, I'm going to record.
Get up on stage and tell a story and a joke or two.
I'm going to do. We have to do one week. I'm just going to record the cricket ball story. I've got this world famous story called the cricket ball story, and I reckon if I put that on YouTube, it would get 1 billion listeners, viewers.
Well, why don't you?
Oh, I'll just do it. Baccarati will do it. The Baccarati presents the cricket ball story.
You're going to ask me what I'd do?
What? What would you do, Brett?
Same.
Yeah, same. Barbecue.
No, look, to be honest with you, there's a lot of talk about going back to trying to make this thing more of a, more match racing. We've already discussed this. I think it's beyond that. I don't know. I like the idea. Hang on. I like the idea though. I like the idea of keeping this format but going to the 40. I
like smaller boats. Yep, I agree.
More accessible boat, less sort of perfect in performance, and more sort of user friendly for more teams. I want to see more teams.
I agree, 100%. I agree. So smaller boat, yep, 100%. How about this for an addition, BP?
Okay, go.
This country of origin, right?
Yep. Number one rule. Yep.
So you have to sail for the country you're from,
and built in country.
Yep. Not only is it about the sailing, but it's about the barbecue you put on after the day's racing. Each nation has to put on. Yeah, you've got something?
As the winner or the loser?
No, every day it's a different country scheduled. Like if you enter, you get the next day and the next day, and so.
Oh yeah.
And it's part of your score. So
it's a round robin.
It's
barbecue.
A round robin, whether it's a barbecue or a dinner, but it's got to be. Like how good it is, like I reckon.
Well, that's an instant in for the Australians.
Well, I don't know. I reckon the old Brazilians would do pretty well.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Argentinians aren't a bad barbecuer either.
Well, I'm thinking of all
barbacoa, as they say in Spain, barbacoa.
Well, BP, I'm thinking the ancillary elements that come into it might be quite enjoyable.
What, you have to have various vinos,
food
to accompany. So realistically speaking, we're going down the 8 o'clock start in the morning, off the water by 1.
That's it. You got
off to the barbecue.
Off to the barbecue. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, good on us.
I think that's the perfect cup recipe. And you can have trials from all around the world, and each nation would have their own trials. Because if we put them in smaller boats, you'd have proper trials in each country. It would be way better. I love it.
Yeah, we're onto it. I think we're all over it.
Oh, yeah. No. I had another idea, but it goes too close to the Admiral's Cup, so I'll leave that. No good.
No. I think we've done it. I think we've signed off. Let's get the contracts out.
Mm-hmm.
So, job done, tick. So, listeners, let's just expand on that. So, get back to us with your thoughts on what you think is your perfect plan for the next cup. Can be funny, can be serious, can be non-realistic.
I love it. I love it. It'd be really interesting.
It's going to be tough to go past the Baccarati America's Cup, though.
Yep, I do enjoy it. Okay, cool. All right, just before we announce last month's winner, we do have one email I do have to read out, BP. Hi, boys. This is from Ned Fairley. Nedo. Hi, boys. First, in my shit sandwich, I want to tell you guys how much I love you. Thank you, Nedo. And we love you too, buddy. just returned home from a few hours Coast Guard training where after getting a bit hot clearing out the shed, I stripped off my new bar karate hoodie to reveal my tried and battered first-generation bar karate T-shirt. Looking forward to getting my hands on a new bar karate sun shirt. Mate, how good are you, Neto? But in the true shit sandwich tradition, here comes my complaint. Okay, so he's obviously using the praise burger is what he's talking about with the shit sandwich, where you compliment, criticism, compliment. Okay, so that's clearly what he's going for here. I generally catch up on bar karate whilst driving in my shitbox of an old car with heaps of road noise and find myself constantly reaching for the volume knob and turning it up every time BP has something insightful to say in his lovely, quite dull, I think he means droll, set tone.
No, dulcet.
Oh, dulcet. Yeah, that's not how you spell dulcet, just dulcet, yep, copy. And then constantly have my eardrums blooding when Jordan chimes in with his 2 cents worth at full pitch. Can you please do something about equaling the sound levels from everyone's microphone, please? And in true bar karate fashion, I'd just like to say, I'd love to send money, but as a poor Aussie sailor now stuck in New Zealand paying 3 litres of fuel, you'll just have to wait till I can buy some more bar karate lager to get any money out of me. Please, please, please don't stop what you're doing for the sport of sailing. It's a great podcast, especially for those of us who have busy lives and families and can't get out on the water as much as we like. Ta, Ned. Good. BP, you want to respond?
It's all good, but I don't know what he's talking.
Yeah. So the scenario.
Well, I've got 2 words to say, but they're too rude for me to say.
We do run directional mics. We got special mics that are directional, so we don't have recording studios. So we purposely chose directional mics that only pick up what's directly in front. And if you're hand holding a mic, it does wander sometimes, and that's
no. My problem is when I talk when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I know.
I actually literally close my eyes.
Yeah.
And I wander off into another landscape.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't even remember that I'm holding a microphone. That's my problem.
Yep.
It's a known fact. Even when I'm singing a song, I can't sing into a microphone.
Oh well. Anyway, we'll do our best that we can.
No, I promise, Ned. I'm conscious of it now. You should see me right now.
Yeah.
Stuck up my nose.
It's called a licorice ice cream, BP. That's the trick. All right, good one. Listener of the month. It was our Irish mate, David McElwee, who sent in.
Yeah, I like that one.
That was
I'm
good.
going to agree with you on this one.
Yeah. So he was talking about how he got into sailing, how he went away from it, family, and now he's back and he's running a cheap fireball and he's having a ball. And it was a really good email about the whole journey and getting back into sailing and not being hung up on having the latest equipment. He's from Ireland. We love the Irish. My favourite place to hang out is in Ireland. I love hanging out with the Irish.
We slot in well there, Gingers.
Yep, Gingers. And look, it's just a country full of fantastic people and, there's a lot of joy in that one. So congratulations, Dave. The actual final official winner of the Vycobi Listener of the Week. I pretty much remember from the conversation with Pat that he's just going to keep rolling with it. I think Vycobi is going to continue on, as evidenced by the fact he set us a challenge for this month. So I think we're all well and good. But yeah, I just thought for the purposes of that, officially we've run through our contract, but let's just assume it's going to keep going. And if no one blinks, we'll be right.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. All right, well organised. Contract signed.
Contract signed.
It's hot time
with us.
With Bicey.
Hot time. Hot time, not with Bicey.
Yeah, without Bicey. It's hot time with us. Good comments about the cup. So we went through everything. I'm just trying to think what we need to think of. We've talked about the future. We talked about that. I think we're not far away from the youth and the women. So
we haven't really touched on this, have we?
Yeah, they're
Good
there
point.
though. I did see young Abby Ella just touring everyone around the boat park and showing them the boats and stuff on a bit of video from around.
A couple of bar karatians there, young Dazzle Whizbang, preparing the boats meticulously. with another shout out to Dan Deganos Gore from Canada. He's going to go and do some work there with him. It's going to be exciting. So,
now I did have a look at the split for the youth and the women's, and there's 2 pools. And the way they've done it, I think we mentioned this in the past, but I'm just reminding everyone, there's Pool A, which is all the teams that are partnered up with
teams, yep.
with existing
That's a good idea.
teams.
I like that idea because, yep.
And then the other pool, the other 6 nations that are not associated with teams. So, Australia, Sweden, etc., all coming in. So that's how they're going to split out, and then they'll work their way through to finals.
Well, the good part about that is it gives the teams who haven't had access to boats more time, sort of time on the water against each other.
Yep.
Which I like. Yep.
Making it fair. So that looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Cannot wait. And I just love the whole what I'm liking about this whole thing is that I want it to become more of a festival.
Yeah, they do too. They really do too. In
the past, the America's Cup has been elitist and out of reach for the general public. I mean, the majority of people get to go for, if you're lucky, get to go for a tour around the bases. There's the village. You can go and do that. But this whole thing now is opening it up because there's so many different competitors and there are 3 different regattas. It's going to become a celebration. Yeah. I mean, it'd be good if it was ongoing every year regularly, but that's basically what's happened with Sail GP now. Sail GP evolved from that idea originally, which was... You're saying you reckon it might get a bit... the 4-year year might become a 2-year part?
Oh, I don't know. It'll just depends who wins.
That would work with our idea of having the boats smaller and less sort of... technically advanced, make them sort of a bit more user-friendly for teams. Why not have it every 2 years?
I'll be interested to see how it plays, but we know next Cup they're going to be in the 75s again, so it's a moot point.
True.
We mentioned the Finn Gold Cup, so congratulations. So it's Oskari Mohonen from Finland who had a win, and he had a pretty convincing
with Rocky giving us a really nice overview.
He did a good job, didn't he?
Position. Yeah, we should get him on as a special guest commentator.
Yeah. So that regatta started out, it was in Aarhus. It started out reasonably light, and then it got a bit more pressure, sort of mid-teens later on in the week.
I loved what he said about his performance, skill set.
Yeah.
That is a shorter person, but hugely strong. So downwind, he was incredibly quick. And if you look at the regatta, the way it panned out,
it's very true.
You can sort of see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got 3rd in the first race, 2nd in the second race, and then
so he failed. That's his drop.
Yeah, he dropped to 3, and then he got 1. So that's pretty domineering in the Finn fleet. That doesn't happen, and so that's very convincing. Demonicus Nemeth, is that how you pronounce it, BP? Nemeth. From Hungary. Yeah, in 2nd. Now I think he won the Euros in the Finn, so he was probably up there as one of the expected. And Alessandro Amarega from Italy into 3rd, and it got a little bit tight there. But the top 4 were probably well and truly clear, but domination by Oskari. So congratulations there. Tempest World Champs in Lake Lucerne in Switzerland. Pretty much a domination there. Do you know what a tempest is, BP?
No, I don't.
Either do I.
And it's not out of ignorance. It's just that we know on this planet there is so many boats, and no, I don't.
Yeah, well, it was another domination. So 9 points. Lars Bar and Leif Bar, German team, won on 9 points.
Large Bar.
Yeah, Lars. And then a second German team, Spranger and Kopp, into second. Double the score, and then a big gap away to the Swiss team of Monnen and Monnen Wagner. So pretty good. It's 2-1-1, 2-2-1-2. So pretty dominant performance, dropping a 3rd. And then we had the 5.5s. I'll talk about this. Congratulations in the 5.5s, an Australian team winning. Well, a mixed team, but from Australia. technically. And congratulations to John Bacon. He's put about 5 or 6 years into campaigning.
Absolute legend, yep.
Yep. Into the 5.5 metres or 5.5s in his Ku-ring-gai 3. He's sailing with Juiced Halverling and Eddie Wright. So impressive performance, having a big win there in Artemis team of Nego Bun and Soli Satha coming in second. So it's pretty tight. There wasn't a big domination as suggested, as some of those last two ones we mentioned. But yeah, it was a great performance.
It's a cool little fleet, the 5.5s.
Yeah. Yeah. So 21 points to 30 to 33. Yeah, I love them.
Have you sailed one?
I have not sailed one. I'm really, really keen to sail one.
I had the pleasure of sailing one. Very technical boats. Very technical.
Which appeals to me a lot as you get older, you know.
Well, you wouldn't like the hobbling.
No, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't, but that's it. And the final worlds that we just got to mention, the M32s, that's nearly done. Another day to go as we record. It's all
what
US
did we say
teams.
last week? The underrated class on the planet?
Yep. But it's pretty much all USA teams. So they're in Garda, and you've got the top 8 are from the USA. Then the Danes, Italy, and Sweden by the looks of it. So Rated X is leading the way on that one. There's a chance of being pipped for first, but yeah, Youngblood in second, Surge in third. So yeah, that's what's ongoing there. And then I guess, you know, should we talk about what's happening? There's no other real racing to bring up that we need to bring up at the moment. So whatever Bicey's doing, we're not going to bother mentioning it. I feel that's fair, don't you, BP?
Oh, I think we'll get a nice review next week.
Next week? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the Super Yachts is always a exciting week, and for those involved, good luck and enjoy yourselves in the lovely Port of Turbo.
Yeah.
Horrible place to sail, Southern.
It is horrible, isn't
Not
it?
too far behind Lake Garda.
No, it is it is a great place to go. I'm sure there's some kids out there listening to this just going, oh, can't wait. You know, one day, kids, it'll be.
Well, that's our goal, kids. Our goal is to introduce you to these events, and what that does is keeps interest in these events.
Cool.
So when you buy your first super yacht, let us know.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
All right, great episode. I loved it. I loved the whole E-Series thing. I was left field for me. We've sort of dibbled and dabbled in this, this E stuff, and we joke about me sailing around the world for the 17th time, which is true. But I think it's going to get stronger, and I cannot wait to hear how Rocky goes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right. Enjoy your week, everyone. Thanks for listening. Remember, if you want to jump in onto that via Kobe competition, just cheers at Barcelona.
Yeah.
Tell us all about how you'd set up the cup. And if you feel like you need to bump up your nutrition, Radix Nutrition, go to their website, order using the discount code BARKARATI, one word, on us, get a discount on us, and enjoy fabulous nutrition. Jumping your body physically ahead.
Loving it.
Love it.
No sailing.